Remember the Wizard of Oz? The Scarecrow. If he only had a brain. The words go, I would not be just a nothing, my head all full of stuffing, my heart all full of pain. I would dance and be merry, and my life would be a ring-a-dairy if I only had a brain. Yeah, well, everybody's envious for someone and something that you don't have, you want. We have a brain right here. And we're talking about looking upon the heart. And this is the 5 disposition book. And we're talking about the biblical heart being the frontal lobes of the brain. If I only had a brain. Well, we'll get into that later. But today we're talking about, well, if I only had this and if I only had that. The state of Envious Eva is a character state. And actually in the hard heart disposition of the heart. Envious Eva and Envious Evan. Thank you for returning to watch more of the hard heart character today, highlighting the personality style we exhibit when we morph into envy and jealousy. Envious Eva is a worldly character. She has an external focus on the world as a gauge of how she feels about herself and her life, keeping up with the Joneses and that sort of thing. Her identity is based on social comparison, seeking the things she covets as a first priority, as if it means status to her. If someone like us has what she thinks she should have, she envies us, no matter what kind of sinful character we have, and she is jealous and zealous for it, instead of for God, and wishing it was hers. She has a craving to be like others, or to have what she does not have. Proverbs 23:17 says, do not let your heart envy sinners, but be zealous for the fear of the Lord all the day. You know, and that means the revere of the Lord. Don't be envying other people. Just say, Lord, I want what you want. And that's what matters to me. For example, girls up on the hill admire and imitate ghetto girls. I see a lot of that in my office. A lot of kids, they admire and envy to be someone that they are not. Bitter envy and self-seeking in the heart is not a good thing. James 3:13 through 18 says, who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show by good conduct that his works are done in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter envy and self-seeking in your hearts, do not boast and lie against the truth. This wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, and demonic. For where envy and self-seeking exist, confusion and every evil thing are there. Yeah, people are coveting, wanting something, and it creates strife. A desire to have what she does not have and what someone else has got is what envious Eva seeks, or envious Evan. Materialistic, perhaps, a desire to be rich and have as many expensive possessions as another, and to go to expensive places and do expensive things. It may be also to be about image and status to do such things. A craving to be like others she sees. Envious Eva sees those that are successful, those that are popular, powerful, more beautiful, more religious in stature, or as fortunate in any way as anybody else is. Envy could be about ability, those she sees as strong, as talented, as intelligent, as knowledgeable, or as capable of anything in particular she is not. And I have to admit, sometimes I feel the same way. It seems like there's always somebody that plays better trumpets, a better person, a more social. We all have these inadequacies that perhaps have a tinge of envy. Remember, all of these character states and personality styles in the hard heart disposition as well as the broken heart disposition, we all may morph into. So none of us is separate. We're just putting it in terms of, well, it's envious Eva or envious Evan. Oftentimes the envy is about relationships, and there's a resentfulness and a competitiveness with others who have the romantic person of their desire. We may lust after and covet someone who we cannot have and who someone else has got. In Exodus 20:17 it says, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his servant, or anything that is your neighbor." That's in the Ten Commandments there. The envy is to have what someone else has got, and it's not yours. 2 Corinthians in the New Testament 5:12 and 13 says, "Have an answer for those who boast in appearance and not in heart." Jealousy, envy go together with codependency. Envious Eva gets jealous as well as envious, gets angry about others who are a threat, and she is fearful of losing who or what she has a desire for. Jealousy sometimes comes after she gets what she envies, and then is afraid and angry about possibly losing it too. So there's a possessiveness to it. So there's a trust factor that comes in. Envious Eva has a very codependent personality style where she measures how good she is as a person and her good feeling about herself based on comparison of her possessions, her good fortunes, and qualities to that of others. Her self-worth and satisfaction is therefore dependent upon how she sizes up to certain other people in her life who seem to have it more together than she does. And face it, there's always somebody that has it more together than we do in one way or another. So it's easy to feel that envy sneak in. Sometimes we're unconscious about it, but we really are envious. Like when we don't want to compliment somebody when they did a good job. Maybe it's because we wish we could have done as well as them. So in this codependent, envious state, we become a slave to things and characteristics which we and other people possess. We do not possess it. Codependency is a very important concept for us to understand psychologically. It's rather an epidemic in our society, an epidemic of addiction to other people, places, and things having to be like we want them to be. It can get nasty when in this personality style, something kicks in where Eva finds herself in a vicious competition, envying others, and even hating them for having what she does not have. And she will find reasons to criticize those she envies. Oftentimes the gossip and slander and backstabbing. Underneath, there's this envy that we're not aware of, perhaps. And so she does these things to cope with her deep feelings of inadequacy, unattractiveness, deficiencies, and shame. So she reacts in a competitive way, an overcompensatory way, like a lot of the hard heart disposition is trying to compensate for that anxiety of not feeling good enough. Envious Eva believes that appearance and appearing better than her competitors will help her to achieve little victories. But she hides her envy and underlying insecurities to deceive us into thinking she is something she is not. She pretends to have more of what she has than what she really has. Like a snake, she can be venomous, corrosive, and acidic, and she may use her tongue to spread her poisonous venom, such as in gossip and slander. She may relish others' failures and use it as an opportunity to play the head game of one-upsmanship. That's the competitive game. The codependency continues. Well, What are the possible origins of this envious personality, style, and character state in the heart disposition? Oftentimes it comes from impoverished circumstances where there are social injustices, comes from where there is a division of the haves from the have-nots, where there's an obvious unfairness she has observed early on. And taking and attempting to take became the only way to deal with her feelings of envy and being shortchanged in life. People that are in poor neighborhoods often envy those that are in rich neighborhoods. On the other hand, the origin of this envy could have come from having an abundance of material things, though not enough true deep love is what we really need. She is used to externals such as appearance, money, and power being the only way to feel good about herself. She envies to have more of what she has already been accustomed to and is so kind of spoiled. Material things may be the only way she has known how to feel love or to love her own self. Perhaps her parents spoiled her, just paid her off, were never there emotionally to hug her and tell her how special she was, attractive and intelligent, but just bought her nice things. That's about enough for now of Envious Eva and Envious Evan. What you need to do is have an attitude of gratitude in life. There's two kinds of people. People that have gratitude and people that don't. And the people that don't have gratitude are just miserable, oftentimes envious people, wishing they had what they don't, always competing, and probably harboring so much low self-esteem and insecurity, anger and hurt. Oh, thank you for listening today on Looking Upon the Heart. Be sure and pick up a copy of Looking Upon the Heart, Volume 1, the 5 dispositions. It's at bookstores now, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and you can just email me at PeteCarlsonCounseling@yahoo.com. I'd be happy to autograph one and send it to you. And thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next time on Looking Upon the Heart. I feel satisfied. Have a great day.